I don't have a good a feeling about what is going in France actually. That's split the population in two parts.
Following widespread unrest and 650 million euros in damages during the July riots in France, a new normalcy emerges. Yet, the issue of immigrants continues to divide the people.
I understand the angry, I understand the angry because they feel insecure and no justice. They only take the position of the police but not of the people. And that's why the population are angry.
People start to talk about it's for justice and stuff like that, but the cop that actually killed that guy Nael is in jail right now.
Would you go to the streets and do it yourself?
No, I will not, because it's not the right thing to do.
So it's not for justice. They just trying to find a pretext, an excuse to do it. They attack the pastor, they attack the police, they attack even the firefighter. Why would they attack the firefighters? They're not the cops or anything. They attack everything that symbolized the France. They burn absolutely everything.
With the arrival of Muslim immigrants during the 1970s, the French working class residing in the suburbs became the first casualties, impacting their livelihoods and neighborhood peace.
I remember that in my building, for example, we had a parking, an underground parking, and they burned white people's cars on purpose just because they were white. They didn't want to live with us. I guess they were just seeing us as some sort of enemies.
He's telling us everybody can kill us because we are black or in the other country right now, and I feel insecure to be in France.
There are around 7 million immigrants in France, with another 6 to 9 lakhs who reside illegally, according to an estimate. At least half of them belong to Africa.
What is the basic conflict in Europe that there is so much?
Two different visions of the world. The new generation needs something to trust, to be happy, and the old generation needs money to be happy.
They have been spending years without being listened to, and so their last way to be heard for everybody was to show violence, even if probably not the good way.
The problem is that many people just deal with it. We used to just avoid some places. We used to change the street when we see a pack of people that are just around because we know that we could have some issues. We're used to many things.
Today, the working class constitutes 20% of the total workforce, with an additional 6 million people actively seeking employment.
I am quite lucky to be able to study in Paris and to work in Paris. And so for the main concern that I have, I'm rather listened to, but for the minorities, I believe it's completely different than for me.
They should be ashamed of saying that. Because they should be ashamed for all the people that are not rich and that are not living in such places and that are being discriminated in a way because they got chased off those places and to go to far from the cities, that don't have access to culture, and they're not burning anything and no one is looking at them.
Are there any leaders who are actually listening to people who are representing
In France?
Yes.
No, not to me. There is no one at the moment who are listening people.
It's harder to live in west of France than near Paris. When you live near Paris, you can go to a doctor at any moment. You can go at the hospital at any moment. You can have access to culture. You can go to cinema. You can go to museum. You have associations. You have basically everything. When you go to everything far from a big city, you have basically nothing.
An astonishing 20.7 billion euros have been allocated to immigrant policies, accounting for 28% of the total social welfare expenditure.
The minority in the suburbs have been ignored by the authorities for many years, yes. I believe the solution is not so easy because it's a multifactorial problem. But first, for sure, they have to invest funds in the minorities. They have to listen to them. They have to improve the education for them, to help them get into school because they are a bit left alone.
There is like so many actions, so many associations. People are just putting so much money into it to just try to make them, like integrated, because they still believe that by bringing them to cinema, people will just start like behaving properly and not rioting for anything. While actually in 90% of France, which is not like in big cities or around, people don't have access to that at all, and there is no association trying to, like bring cinema to some really small town where people are bored. That there is like those.
With no solution in sight in the near future, the possibility of another crisis continues to cast a shadow over France as the government wrestles with policy paralysis.
So what could be the ideal solution? What could
Listening, communication. People need to listen the other, and they need to communicate. They communicate together.
The problem is the number, is that there were like too many, and so when you can talk from a person to another person, but you cannot talk from a mass to another mass. It just doesn't work. A mass just have to crush another one.